Welcome to your Module 1.1 walkthrough. Module 1 is right here. And all of the modules are always going to look exactly the same. There's going to be an overview, background info, including the chapter, demonstrations, and then the assignments. I like this idea of I give you first what you need to know, then what you need to see, and then what you need to do. And then some optional materials if you want them. Assignments are always together in a folder as much as I can put them together in a folder. This time, sadly, I can't have all of them in a folder, so don't forget that some of them are up here in the syllabus. The syllabus agreements are up here in this one, but there's a note about that. So I'm just gonna, and then there's going to be the assignments are going to be in that folder. So let's just jump right in. You've got the module overview. It always looks the same. Why it matters, talk about this week's chapter, a meme that fits. These are the things you should be able to do at the end of the module. This video is going to come right in here. This is a listing of all the activities I want you to do. So syllabus agreement, this is where it is in the folder above. Syllabus quiz, same thing, it's in the folder above. I want you to introduce yourself to the introductions board. The introductions board, we'll get to it in just a second. Then access the book. So the book is an open, it's an open educational resource, and so you can view it online. So you don't have to buy anything. It's all right there. Complete the quiz. The video collection. There's a number of different ways how you can get to the video collection. I'm gonna try to share clips with you as appropriate. And you can get to it either if you have Netflix, you can get it directly on Netflix. If you have KET, you can get it directly through PBS, or BCTC has access to it, and you can log through your KCTCS, log in through your KCTCS email. And as I share more with you, but let's go see that you can have access to it. That way, you know you do. And if that's not a problem, then it's all good. And if it is a problem, we'll fix it now before it becomes a problem. Um, since I'm creating memes, well, not I'm creating, I'm finding memes. I want you to either create or find a meme that describes how you feel about biology class right now. And then I want to take a picture. I want to see a picture of your study notes, and I'll explain in just a second why that is. You can either go out and you go back into the different places from the overview vision, or you can just click on the arrows. So background and lecture info is next. It tells you what to pay attention to. I want to kind of show you a little bit about the structure of the chapters. Each chapter is going to be structured like that, so you can be prepared for what's coming as you're looking at the chapter. Helpful materials. One of the things, all the helpful materials I have for you are going to be in a folder, not necessarily just in Blackboard, but it links outside of Blackboard. So anytime I have an underlined word, it means that's the link. So if you click on here, you get to all the papers and everything that are related to this week's chapters. So that's a PowerPoint. If I create an additional lecture PowerPoint, that's the SQ3R reading system that I'm going to mention in just a second. And then here are the assignment materials that you're going to need, the syllabus agreement. That's also linked from there. Back to so this is here. In there, our PowerPoints are not as much help for organizing. Depending on the images that are there, our PowerPoints mostly contain images that are also in the chapter. The learning objectives in each chapter are at the beginning of each chapter. The SQ3R reading system makes use of those. Um, if you have more chapters than one in a week, I'll give you a tour guide to kind of give you an idea of what you're supposed to be reading and what you can just skip. Um, Here are two short little lecture overviews. Don't use these instead of the lecture, instead of reading the book. So make sure you read the book. But this kind of gives you an overview in a couple of minutes before you start reading as to what you're going to be looking at. Um, and then you get to the actual chapter in the book. Now, if you actually click on it, it takes you to the chapter. Um, the demonstration section goes over two different things. Since the book gives very little structure, I give you these two things, one about the characteristics of life and one this one refuses to make a list, this one makes a list. So there's different approaches to this, but I'm often going to give you little videos that illustrate some of the points in the lectures. And then here is a little bit about something about key terms. Don't ignore the key terms. Um, See if you can figure out the secret language a little bit. And then here comes the assignments. Again, this is a repeat of the listing of the assignments. Um, and this is a link again to the folder where all the things are that you're going to need to submit the assignments. Then your first assignments, and part of what I'm doing here in this week is to kind of run you through the different types of assignments and things that you can see, so that you're sort of familiar with seeing all the things. Chapter 1 quiz, you just click down here to view the assessment. Then you see the assessment, and these are basically the questions that are from the back of the chapter. Just you can pre-answer the questions from the back of the chapter for future chapters because they will come in future assignments. You can save it. I think you have to save. You can save it once you've done something. And then you can go to the next assignment. So you have to submit it for it to work, right? Um, the reason for this particular assignment is because our PowerPoints are relatively poor. Um, the PowerPoints that come with this book literally just come with, the pictures that are in the book. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about how you can help yourself kind of figure out some of these connections, for example, for the properties of life. If you Google properties of life, and then you click, for example, on images, you get all kinds of different ways how people address this idea of the properties of life. This is basically a picture from our Pearson book, how they look at the properties of life. Um, this person just lists them, right? Um, this person has other ways of going about it. So think through the properties of life, try to find ways, whether that's whether that's a concept map. So there's different, whether there's concept mapping, whether there's however you want to do it, that helps you try to remember this. And remember that just working with the material will help you remember it. So some of you have probably written study flashcards at some point in your life. And have you ever discovered that when you write flashcards, you basically are halfway through studying after you've done written the cards? And that's because you've got this high hand eye brain connection thing going on that is really very helpful for studying. So that's what that assignment is, study notes. So just take a picture of your notes. If you can't read your own chicken scratches and I can't read your own chicken scratches, that's what it is. But I just want to see how you handle note taking. Now I'm going to probably have to do something in order to be able to save this. Oh, it won't let me, will it? Do I need... Excuse me? Why not? I don't know why not. Didn't like something. Oh, ha! So one of the things I made possible with these study notes is I don't know how it works yet, but I made class conversations possible. So over here on the right, you see this little bubble, and I'm assuming that when you say something there, there is a conversation that can happen between you and the classmates. So if you have a question about this, or if you have a really good idea you'd like to share, you can do that. Can have a conversation with me and or your classmates. So I'm going to submit this right now. You have 3 attempts. Most of the assignments are going to have 3 attempts. Anytime you submit something, you'll get a confirmation. And then if there's a problem with the assignment, you can ask for it with the confirmation number. I'm not going to be concerned about this right now. So that's your study notes assignment. And then last but not least, this assignment where I'm just simply wanting to have you submit a meme, something creative. How do you feel about biology class right now? So I came across this, and these two, I couldn't choose just one. And so what I want you to do is I want you to add the meme to Google Docs. So if you click on here, there's a Google Doc out there. Well, it's actually not a Google Doc, it's a Google Slide. And on this Google Slide thing, there's a couple of different slides. And what I want you to do, you should be able to edit this. If you can't edit it, let me know. And so what I want you to do is simply grab a, grab a meme from somewhere. Hang on, let me go see what I can do here. So grab a picture from somewhere on the internet and just, put a meme, whatever it is, put it right in there. Don't overwrite somebody else's. There's plenty of slides for everybody, right? And notice on the bottom right, this number changes. So once you're done putting yours in there, what I want you to do is I want you to submit and say, yes, I added it. And my submission was slide number X, whatever slide number it was. And the slide number is listed down here. This is how you know which slide number you have. We may look at all of those as a group later on. I don't know yet. For right now, I just want to see how you feel. And that's it, I believe, for oh, I wanted to tell you the optional. So there are optional materials, this thing called science. So these optional materials, I really like them. One of the things you have to do in science class, you've got to think differently. And there's scientific and critical thinking. And these are little like 3-minute videos that are really kind of nice, and they're geared towards children, but sometimes there's wisdom in in things that are geared towards children. So I really think this is kind of is well done, and it explains a lot of things that go wrong with people who don't trust science, or who don't trust um, who don't think critically. Um, so I've got another collection that's critical thinking that I'm going to share with you later. But that's it for this week. So that is everything in module 1, and I will open the next module as soon as possible.